So here we go, and let me welcome you once again. Episode number 195th, and today's topic is empowering oneself before we start empowering others. And for that, we have the guest speaker, Mr. Tanveer Beg. As you can see on the screen, please help me to welcome Mr. Tanveer Beg, who is the country head of a finance house named PASC. He's joining us from Dubai, and he is also a coach, trainer, and a motivational speaker. So with big round of applause, please help me to welcome Mr. Tanveer Beg, and he is going to have the conversation with you on the subject of empowering oneself. Over to you, Mr. Tanveer. Floor is all yours, sir.
Thank you, Conan bhai. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or rather, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good night in whichever part of the world you all are. Conan bhai, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Perfect.
Okay. Thanks for your kind words. And ladies and gentlemen, before we start, let me introduce you to my own self. And as they say it in the movies, I won't say that my name is so-and-so. I'll straight away say the name is Beg, Tanveer Beg. And why I'm saying this? Because when we talk about ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, we should know that God has created each one of us in a very different and a unique way. All of us are unique in our own way. So what we've got to do is we've got to create our own identity. We have to be absolutely original what we are, and we have to be absolutely confident and original in ourselves. So that is why you have to create your own identity, a different identity. And the easiest thing about creating your own identity is be yourself. I think there could be nothing easier than being your own self, and we should never, ever, ever copy anyone else. No celebrities, no sportspersons, no politicians, because copying, we can do that for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But what happens after that? We come back to the original by default. So it's better to have your own distinct style. You should have your own distinct, the original self. And before we start, like the other speakers have already said, and Mr. Conan also said that it should be a very interactive session. So I'll be motivated if I'll be having a lot of questions, and I'll have a lot of you interacting with me during the talk. So if it just goes on like a monologue, it will be quite a boring session, I'm afraid to say. So let me see in the chat box that people are. And first and foremost, am I audible enough? Conan bhai?
Yes, sir. You are audible, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. The introduction. Now I'll tell you why I chose this topic about. I was following Conan bhai's this empowerment talks for a very long time. He's doing a wonderful job. And when we say empowering others, what we are taught right from the beginning, in every household and across the globe, in every country, in every city, in every community, what our parents tell us and what each one's religion or everything, our elders always tell us, to be able to help others, first we should be able to help our own selves. Like when we sit in the flight, when the air hostess tells us about the oxygen mask, she'll always say, first wear your oxygen so that you're comfortable enough, and then only you'll be able to help the others. And even if you have an infant in your hand, wear your oxygen first and then help him or her. Am I right or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is the way why I chose this topic. I said, before we start on this incredible journey of empowering all others, we should be able to empower our own self. Now, there is a certain lines by Elizabeth. We can have the first slide. Conan bhai, can we have the first slide on the screen, please? Yes, and it says the acceptance that we all are, all we achieve, all we ever will be, is far beyond what we ourselves create, dream, or conceive, is the most edifying thought. It matters not what you call it, luck, qismat, divine intervention, or even destiny. So do not be daunted or afraid or harassed by thoughts of failure. Never fear failure. Continue to show up in all aspects of your life. Like the great Elizabeth Gilbert says, let the record reflect that you showed up for your part. All you need to do is show up for your part and that you played your role. This is what matters. As in sports, they say, taking part is what matters. Winning or losing comes after that. So, Conan bhai, can you just put off the screen, please? Thank you. Thanks for all your help, Conan bhai. So now when we talk of empowering our own selves, what we fear most, ladies and gentlemen, all of us deep within our hearts, what we fear is one thing. The biggest thing is failure. Now you talk of any big person when you read about whether it's a sports person, a film star, a big, huge celebrity, even a politician, anyone who has the fear of failing has never succeeded. We learn in our daily lives that whenever the more risks we take, the more successful we are. And I'm sure everyone agrees to that. Then another thing which comes is the leadership capacity. When we're trying to empower ourselves, we should think that, look, I'm a leader. Each one of us over here on this page and in the entire world is a leader in his or her own capacity. And a leader is the one who leads people. And he's not the one who follows public opinion. A leader always leads by example. This is what we've got to keep on instilling within ourselves day in and day out. One more thing I'd like to say, on the chat box or something, I want someone to stop me and ask me something. I think Khalid Khan is saying something. Shows the way and helps me on the path. Yes, great. So we'd like something like Khalid said, exactly. When you speak, when you ask questions, you add a lot of value. Now, in my opinion, as I said, the fear of failing, and there is another, I don't know, I hope everyone is, most of us know Hindi or Urdu over here. There is one biggest fear which all of us have. And in Urdu, they say, कि मत पालो ये रोग कि क्या कहेंगे लोग. We should never, ever, ever be concerned about what others are thinking about us. That is one thing which leads to failure. So, ladies and gentlemen, never, ever, ever fear about what is this person thinking, because unless and until people mock you, unless and until people joke about you, laugh at you, you'll never succeed. As they always say, failure is the biggest and the best teacher. Success is good, but then success makes people complacent. The more if you see these successful people, if they stop striving, we've seen huge sportsmen going to a certain extent, they win a tournament, they become complacent, and then they're out. Same is the case with a whole lot of other activities. So you've got to, I think there's some more questions coming in there. Yes, Mr. Khalid Khan is saying from UK that you've got to forever be trying. Yes, that's a very valid point. We've got to try, no matter how successful you are, no matter how big you become. The moment you stop trying, you're out of the game. So for the empowerment of your own self, you've got to keep on trying. It's like when we go for a heart test, you see those lines, it goes up and down, and that is what helps you. The moment it's a straight line, you're dead. So we shouldn't. It's as Asma is saying, it's okay to fall. It's lovely to fall. And because we've got to be absolutely resilient. The greater the fall is, the rise will be even, it's like a bouncing ball. If you bounce it, the harder you bounce it, the higher it goes. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, we all know it. I don't need to tell you all, we all know it, but we've got to keep on reassuring ourselves that, look, failure is just not the first step. Every day of certain failures in life are like steps towards success, and we've got to keep on treading that path till the time, and there is nothing such as nirvana. It ends on the last day of our life, and the best thing about life is we do not know when the last day will come, but still we keep on trying. Now, as we talk about leadership, all of us, each one of us have got the potential to become leaders. And the difference is not talent, not education, background, class, riches, but difference is to be able to dream what others are scared of. We should dream the impossible unless you, and there should be no compromise. There should be no compromise on your dream. Make compromises to achieve your dream. But in my opinion, and in the opinion of many big people around the world we've been reading and trying to learn from them, is they always say, never ever be scared to achieve your dreams, because the moment you make compromises, you're gone. You will never be able to achieve your dream. Make compromises in your life, make compromises for your dream, but never compromise on your dream. Can we have one or two more questions, please? I know the interactive session will come afterwards, but Conan bhai, there's another slide. There's a third slide. Can you put it on, please? Yes. Now, these are certain points. I'm sure we read about it. All of us know it, but as I said in the beginning, we've got to instill it in our minds. These things we try day in and day out. As it's written over here, there are some points to ponder and to empower ourselves. It is not the defeat that destroys you. It is being demoralized by the defeat that destroys you. Now, it's a very incredible sentence. Like the whole world for the past 8 months is being hit by Corona, the world over, all of us, each one of us have been some way or the other, we've been defeated by that. But then it wasn't the pandemic which was scary. It was the fear in the minds of the people, the scare around the world, people not going out, people, okay, it's good to take precautions, but it was more of the fear than the disease itself. So as they say, it's not the defeat that destroys you, it's being demoralized by defeat that destroys you. Once, as we said, once we fail, we should just scruff ourselves and get up again, ready to take on the world. And for this, and in our daily lives, another point to empower yourself is, the more you study, the more you know how less you know. So it's never that I've studied enough and I've been to Oxbridge, I've been to the Wharton School, I've been to Cambridge, I have been to University of Columbia or IIM Ahmedabad. It's never enough. You have to keep on learning till your last breath. And as they say, to empower yourself, the more you study, the more you know how less you know. It's pretty ironical, but it's absolutely true. And when I say the third thing, and I say, I have always believed that one should not be scared of losing. It's not me who's saying that, but I have written it the way I'm saying it. I've learned it from someone else, from one of the great thinkers. That person says, I've always believed that one should not be scared of losing. The moment you're scared of losing, I have seen people who go in the arena or who go into some business or some game thinking that, look, what I'll do is I won't lose. That is where you fail. You should enter the arena by thinking, and that is what is positive thinking, that I am going to win. Now, this is a positive mindset. The negative mindset is I'm I'll make sure that I won't lose. The moment you say that I won't lose, you're being negative. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've got to do is in our daily lives, every day, the moment you try to empower your own self, and you can only empower the others when you are empowering your own self by saying that, look, I have to have a very positive mindset. If I'm going to pick up a certain thing, I'm sure that I won't lose. Where this, I'm coming out of the topic for a moment, just to tell you all something, that where this PowerPoint is concerned, in which Conan Bhai is helping me, I'll bring out the entire PowerPoint at the end of the talk. Remind me, Conan Bhai, and remind me the others, please, to bring out the entire PowerPoint. I'll have to tell you all something very, very extremely interesting, something about the PowerPoint. So that will be at the end of my talk. So coming back to this, another very important aspect of empowering ourselves is never give up. Never ever give up, no matter how hard life gets, no matter how much pain you feel, because pain will eventually subside. Nothing remains forever. So keep on going and don't give up. I know what I'm saying, everyone knows. But this, when I say we need to empower ourselves, we need to write it on a board like it's written in front of me and hang it in front of your bed or in front of your study table or your workstation. And you've got to keep on reading it and memorizing it day in and day out. This point I've already said before, compromise for your dream, but never compromise on your dream. You're treading towards a path, all of a sudden, a block comes in and you will say, fine, I'll take a shorter route. There is no shortcut to success. We all know that. Our parents, our elders, our teachers have always taught us, it's in every book that there is no shortcut to success. So we've got to take the path which is the most difficult, because the moment you tread on it, things will automatically start getting easier. So we don't have to look here and there. We don't have to depend on someone. All we've got to do is depend on your own self. Coming back to that, empower your own self by depending absolutely on your own self. Work on yourself, try to learn more new things, and then only you'd be able to go ahead and take life and go ahead and empower the others. As a coach, as a trainer, as a mentor, as a motivator, as a speaker, if you've got to tell something to someone, we've got to treat that first. As I said, we have to lead by example. In a cricket match or in a football match, if I'm the captain and if I'm going to make a century, then only my team will follow me. Because in any, nowadays, there are millions of matches going on all across the world. Look at that. The moment the captain is down, or in a war, if you see these movies, the moment the king is down or the moment the general is down, the entire team goes. So everyone looks at the captain, everyone looks at the coach, the mentor, the motivator, or the boss, the leader. So you've got to be, even if there is pain inside, even if your limb is broken, your tread fallen, there has been some tragedy in your life, but you've got to get up and smile. You should be like what we do in our daily lives. Whatever we are going through, we'll try our best to make sure that our children don't know about it, about our suffering. Because the moment we show our suffering, the children and the family will get worried and things will start falling down. So to empower ourselves, we've got to make ourselves very strong. Fine, we all are soft from inside, but we've got to make ourselves extremely, incredibly strong. At least show the people that you're strong. The moment you show that, it's a very contagious thing. The moment you show happiness, you show strength, your people or the people you're teaching or the ones who are following you will immediately start getting stronger and happier. Conan bhai, can you ask someone to, I think there are in the chat box that there are some people who
Yeah, would you like to go ahead with the next slide?
I think, okay. And as I said, remind me of this when I end my talk. There's a very, very important point which I have to make, which will make a lot of sense about the PowerPoint only. So let's see the next slide. I think one is about leadership. That is done. So there is no point in going to the slide. We'll talk like that. And this we've already covered. A leader leads people. She doesn't need to follow public opinion. As I said, we don't need people to tell us. And especially when you fail, there'll be millions of people standing all over you. Everyone will be giving you advice, which is absolutely free. Your own friends, your own family will start looking at you with another eye the moment you fail. But that is the biggest learner. As I said, failure is the biggest healer, the biggest tutor we can ever have. So it's beautiful to fail. No one fails deliberately. But as we said, we should try our best to succeed. Go with a positive mind to succeed. If we fail, fine, learn from it. Learn from your mistakes, make points and go ahead. Dust yourself up, get up from the mat and take life head on, like all of us. And we all do it. All of us, each and every lady and each and every gentleman over here and in the world, we all do it, right from a toddler till a man who's 97 years old. We all do that. We all fail in something or the other, but we still know bed and waits for death. So be it your studies, be it your business, be it your job or your game or anything, we are failing and we are getting up and we are taking life head on. That is how life goes, and that's the beauty of life. I think there is one gentleman who's trying to ask something. There are two new messages.
Okay, if we are done, Mr. Tanveer, we'll take the question from the audience at the end.
As I said, no one is done forever. Because this can go on and on, but if there is an interactive session, if people want to ask questions, that will be the best thing, because then it becomes as I said, there's no point in having a monologue.
Definitely. Thank you so much. We have today's very interactive audience, and definitely I can see in the chat box many questions are coming up, and definitely they are going to ask a lot from you. But before that, if you allow me, can I ask some questions, sir?
Please go ahead. Please.
Thank you so much. It was quite interesting thoughts of yours on various subjects. Thank you so much for covering most of the important aspects of how exactly we can empower ourselves, because that's what matters a lot. Because when we know how can we empower ourselves, definitely we can empower others.
Absolutely.
And you touched one of the most important element, the most critical belief system, which is a failure, the fear of failure. What would you like to suggest if we have, or if someone has this limiting belief somewhere in the subconscious mind that I might get fail, or I am not good enough, I can't do. So what exactly one should do to remove this kind of limiting beliefs from the subconscious mind, sir?
Exactly. Now, this is a very valid and very good question, which is very closely knit with this program today. And the video which you showed in the beginning, it talked about that only. That everyone, all of us, like mere mortals, we keep on fearing failure. So when I said we have to empower oneself, it's only us and we can mend this. We can't go to a coach, or we can't go to a parent or teacher and tell us that, look, we are scared of losing, do something for us. No, we've got to talk to our own self. The belief, the self-belief, the confidence you will have to build within yourself. And there's another thing, there's a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. One should always tread, it's like walking on a sword. Saying that the other day I was listening to Mr. Mubin Zaman's chat, and he asked one question. He said, what is the worst sentence? And many people replied, but what he said was, the worst sentence is, I know. The moment we think that I know everything, we are gone.
True.
Because as I said, we have to keep learning. The more we learn, the less we know. Coming back to that same point, and as Mubin said, this I know is, and when he asked this question, there were at least tens of others who came up with beautiful sentences, and all were very relevant and were making sense. But this sentence, I know, which all of us subconsciously keep on saying throughout the day. I don't need to prepare for this. I know this. I can do this. I know this. We don't. We'll only know if we fail. And once we fail, then we've got to sit back and introspect and know where we went wrong. And then only we'll come to know. So the biggest teacher is you, your own self. We've got to make sure that we are confident enough and not overconfident. We are not scared. We are not conscious. And as I said, we should be our own self. Believe in yourself. Have confidence in yourself, because God has created everyone in a very unique manner. All of us, right from the tea boy in the office till the CEO, everyone has a unique and different quality. So that is how God has created us.
Definitely.
So no one is inferior to anyone. So we've got to know that, look, I have the confidence. Today, I'll talk about myself. Many friends of mine are CEOs, but I don't sit in the room and cry, my God, they become CEOs. I haven't. Come on, they were destined to be CEOs. They must have done something better, which I couldn't. So they've become CEOs. And I'm sure the same CEOs would be sitting and crying that I haven't gone into Google and I haven't become the CEO of Google or MasterCard. Or it's like that only. So human wants are never satisfied, but we should always look up. But at the same time, we should be happy in what we have, because there is nothing like being happy with your own self. This is another good point, how to motivate yourself and how to empower yourself. Because we always look at people that what they have. He's driving a Lamborghini. People don't realize that your little Lancer is much more comfortable than a Lamborghini, because he's halfway lying down while driving. So a person who's driving a Lamborghini is not driving for himself. He's driving it to show it to the others. You've got to be happy. You have a car, you're driving it, you should be happy. So same way, I look at my friends who become CEOs. It's not that you reach a certain point and you've achieved it. You have not. So the fear of losing is not at all done, and we've got to instill our minds that we've got to fight every day. All of us. I'm talking so much about fear of losing. Every day I also get scared, and then I reassure myself, look, I can do it. If not once, twice, third time, I can do it every day. See, we are surrounded by toxic people. All of us are surrounded by people who just talk of. I remember I came to Dubai about 14 years back. When I came in, people were saying market is very bad. Earlier, it used to be good. Till today, people are talking the same thing. 10 years back, the market was very good. And 14 years back, they were saying market is bad. So this goes on and on. If you are in India, people talk about Dubai. You're in Dubai, people talk about London, New York. But Corona has brought everyone under one roof. So wherever we are on the same page. And there is fear in everyone, whether it's the president of, we have two presidents at the moment of America, or the others. Everyone is scared of something or the other. So we've got to fight our fears. And the biggest enemy is not sitting outside, as your video showed. The biggest enemy is sitting here in your heart and in your mind. And there has to be a constant internal battle to come out of that fear. And then only you will be able to empower your own self, enabling yourself to go out and empower the others.
Very profoundly explained, sir. Thank you so much. And this reminds me that somebody had said earlier is that fear is nothing but false evidence appears real. So it's all our, as you rightly mentioned, our inner stories created by ourselves. And
Yes.
what I am taking away is that the sentence what you mentioned, we should say big no to I don't know or I know kind of things.
Yes.
So thank you so much. And also someone has said that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the success.
It's a stepping stone.
Stepping stone.
It's actually a stepping stone.
But sir, in your conversation, you mentioned a word demoralized. So what exactly happened with our mindset or mental state? Or how can someone get demoralized, or how can we avoid going into that state of demoralization or demoralized state, sir?
See, as I said, there was the sentence in which I used the word demoralize. It was not my sentence. I took it from somewhere. It's saying it's not the defeat that destroys you. It's the one which actually hampers you or actually harms you is by being demoralized by that defeat. So defeat is fine. We are defeated today. Tomorrow we'll be victorious. But if we are demoralized, we think, oh my God, it's the end. As Mr. Khalid says, we've got to keep on working till we end up in our graves. So demoralized, there should be, we have to take this out. We have to take the fear out. And as I said, the only person who can do that is we ourselves only. And there has to be a constant battle every day with our fears. And so we've got to make sure that no, we've got to, I'll give you a very small example. I lost my job in 2010. I won't take much time in that. I lost my job in 2009 on the 31st of December, and I started going for interviews. So what I used to do is when I used to go for a certain interview and I used to park my car there, I used to think, oh my God, lovely parking, fantastic neighborhood, very nice building, very good boss. I love this job. I used to go in and there used to be a no. The moment I used to come out, I used to sit in my car and say, no, too much of traffic. This is not a good building. Office looks bad. So I'm trying to motivate myself that, okay, this is gone, come out of it, let's go to another interview. So if we stop our car or just stand there and keep on looking at that building, wow, such a good building. No, before I entered the interview or before I got the letter of rejection, I used to say, wow, beautiful building, very nice setting, fantastic team I'll get, very nice work culture, everything looks rosy. But the moment I used to get the letter of rejection, I said, no, absolutely rubbish building, too much of traffic, and it's not against the traffic, it's with the traffic. So it's better that I look for another job. I used to stop myself from getting demoralized.
You have never give up approach.
My own self.
Yes, you have a never give up approach, never give up attitude.
We have to have this. We have to have this. And another point is when I lost the job and I got another job, the salary which came was almost 1/3. So to motivate myself, I used to think, no, it's not the certain amount I was getting and I've dropped down. No, after I lost the job, my salary had become 0. So today, whatever I'm getting is plus. I should count it from 0 instead of counting it from, look, I was getting this much and now I'm getting this. So instead of that, when I lost my job, my salary was 0. Now what I'm getting is 0 plus that amount. So it's motivating. True. So it is, we have to fool ourselves. You can, by crudely saying we can fool ourselves. In fact, rather we can motivate ourselves by doing such things. You've got to talk internally. We talk to kids, we tell them, look, I'll get you ice cream at the next McDonald's shop. And we keep on telling them unless we come near a house. So that way only, we got to tell ourselves that, look, God has planned something better for me. So if this is not done, let's go out and see. And then on the way, we think that what went wrong? What is I don't have which the others have? And one should never think, no, he got jealous of me, or he must be having his own person to get this job or to get into any sort of a thing. If a guy gets promotion in the office, all of us think, no, why he got it, why I didn't get it? No, he must be having something better than me, something better, or maybe he's managing his boss better than us. Whatever it is, how negative it is, but it's better than us. That is why he got it or she got it and we didn't. So, as I said, it's the constant battle amongst your own this thing. So you've got to fight with yourself to motivate yourself.
True. And this
Never
reminds me.
ever give up. The moment you give up, that's it. It's the end of the story.
True. This reminds me and a statement and it's a quote winners never quit, quitters never win. So as you rightly mentioned that we should never ever think that we can't win. We should not quit. We should keep on trying. We should keep on trying until we win the battle.
Khalid Saab is coming out with some very good ones. Khalid Saab is saying that success lies in your self-talk. How is self-talk related to success? Now, is it a question or is it a, Khalid, can you type again? Because he's coming out with some really great ones. I think Khalid's sitting in the UK. He's enjoying a lot good weather. He's coming out with some really good ones.
Yeah, Khalid is our regular audience, and he's also going to have a talk on our empowerment talks on coming Friday. He's a trainer, and he's a nice guy. The other question, Mr. Tanveer, coming to my mind is that you mentioned about the leadership, and someone has said that the true leader, they always know the way, go the way, and show the way. So how do you manage yourself as a leader within your team or within wherever you are? What exactly is the approach you have of leadership?
See, even leaders are human beings. They make mistakes, but their area of expertise or their position is much more hazardous than the others. Leaders, even if they are going wrong, they've got to make sure that, look, I'm treading the right path because the others are following me. You don't go ordering around for new things. So you've got to set an example. A leader leads by example, by leading from the front. So you've got to make sure that you do your homework correctly in whatever field, whether it's sports or corporate or in a school, college, wherever, if you're and we have leaders in every field. So you've got to develop yourself as a leader by knowing everything, by knowing the weaknesses of the team, because the entire team or the entire corporate is depending on you. So your task is double, or if you have 10 people in your team, your task is 10 times of one person which has, because you have the responsibility of the entire team. So now you have to make sure that each and every path which you're going through is well trodden, and the only person who can become a leader if he has, no one gets the seat. Like, I shouldn't be saying this, Trump became the president without holding any post. He straight away became the president. I think for the first time in history it happened. And then see what happened. I'm no one to comment on it. It's just a joke. But you have to come up the ladder. You have to play the game to know the game. Straight away, if someone is made a captain of a cricket team or something, or a president of a country, we've seen it, what happens. So you've got to tread the path. You've got to start from below. If you're a CEO of the company and they just bring out a fresh college MBA and put him as a CEO, he won't know half the thing what's going on. You've got to, because what we do is, as MBAs, when we entered as postgraduates and as management trainees, we were in India in my bank in BCCI, and then again in Network International in Dubai. What I make sure is whenever a new person comes in, a fresh graduate, what we do is we put him for a month or for 15 days in each department, right from the lowest department, from the communication department, from the postal department till the management. He has to go through everything. Then only when he comes on top, he'll know what's going on. So to become a leader is not a joke. It's not an easy thing. The bigger the role, the bigger the risk.
Yeah,
makes sense. And the bigger the hard work. So the harder you work, the higher you'll go. And you've got to fall. You'll make sure that, look, there are people behind me. If I fall, the entire corporate or the entire team falls. So our role becomes bigger, more challenging. But as we say, when we talk of empowering ourselves, the bigger the challenge, the better we've got to perform.
Yeah,
And
makes
that
sense.
is how
Makes
I
sense.
think
And
works.
yeah, another point you also mentioned in your conversation, and what's reminding me is that the readers of today is the leaders of tomorrow. And you mentioned this, that one should never stop learning or studying. What do you recommend? What do you recommend to our audience? Like what kind of study or what kind of books, what kind of things we should get extra knowledge, acquire knowledge in spite of all the challenges if we are working somewhere. So what should be our focus on studying, sir?
When we talk of foreign bhai, when we talk of reading, I've seen people, they have a huge and a beautiful bookshelf in their drawing rooms, and they have rocket science books displayed over there. Now, that is to show people, to show your guests. Rather than doing that, have no shame in reading what interests you. Because if we get books which doesn't interest us, then what's the point? We won't read it. We'll just look at the first page. We'll look at the cover, beautiful, it's expensive. Let me keep it on my shelf and show it to the others. Whatever interests you, start reading that. Be it sports, be it movies, be it anything. So read as in our school days and college days, whenever we used to get the examination paper, we used to solve the question we knew the best and whichever one was the easiest. So that at the end, we'll go and try to, the biggest challenge, the biggest question, then we'll attempt that. So this thing is, in whichever field you are interested in, whichever thing interests you, because if you pick up a book or an article which interests you or which is of an interest to you, then you'd be able to read it, you'd be able to identify yourself with, and you will finish it off in about 2 days. A huge book, or even if you have the time, you'll finish the book in 1 day. But just for the sake of reading, if you pick up a topic which you're not at all interested in, and you just want to finish it, I can lay a bet, and all of you must be knowing that you'll never be able to do that. You'll just look at that book, read 1 or 2 paragraphs and keep it on the shelf. So as we say, when we talk that let this child, or when a boy or a girl, he passes his 10th and goes to 11th, 12th into college, we say earlier his parents used to say, no, he should take this, he should opt for this subject. Nowadays, for the past 20, 30 years, the system has changed. We often say that, look, let the child choose his or her own subjects. We shouldn't, if she likes to get into medicine, let her get into medicine. If he likes to get into engineering or computer science, let him get. We'll never force the child. The same way, ourselves, we should never force ourselves just for the heck of showing people that, look, I'm reading something out of the world. No. You read whatever interests you, whether it's Urdu poetry or English literature or computers or anything. Just pick up that book. The best thing is to read. And nowadays, we are so lucky. We have this handheld device, which is the world. We have the entire globe in our hand. Whatever we want to read, we can just flip through. We can just scan through it and read it. But as I said, learning is a process which is never ending, and we'll, as Khalid Saab says, we'll end up learning in our graves. I'm sure there's learning after that also, but at least for now, we'll know that. So we've got to read, we've got to learn.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanveer. I think our audience is enjoying your authenticity, and you also mentioned in your talk about being authentic. So what would you like to suggest? Because you also mentioned that most of us are always having some fear. What will people say? So yes. What do you do? What do you tell to your mind? And you should not get bothered about what's the opinion of others and whatsoever they say. How do you manage your mental state, sir?
I'll give you a very simple example of today. we had a word last week and you were very kind enough to invite me for your talk. And then till yesterday, I was busy in my own work, which I said that I was bad in planning. No one is busy. No one is busy. If I was actually busy, I shouldn't have been here. But the very fact that I'm here is that I was interested in coming here. I felt obliged. I felt good. I felt honored and humbled that, look, I've been invited here to talk. But then I saw a couple of videos and I just flipped through them. And while driving the car on YouTube, I was hearing them. So I saw whichever contestant, whichever participant came in, be it Dr. Naguib or even Vittal or Mubin, they all came with very crisp PowerPoints, very crisp PowerPoints. Now, if I was sitting and wondering that, look, even I have to make a PowerPoint, and as I said, remind me before we end about the PowerPoint. So ladies and gentlemen, the thing is, I was thinking of making a PowerPoint, but I couldn't because I failed in my attempt. And the thing is, I didn't attempt it. I was doing my work in the office and I said, okay, I'll make it. No, I was wrong and I failed in it. So this will show me, and Conan Bhai knows it, 5 minutes back before I came in, we've got to be true to ourselves. We've got to be true to the others. But what I did was I was confident enough that even without a script, without a PowerPoint, I can go ahead. Well, had I had a PowerPoint, it would have been much better. But you shouldn't be afraid of thinking what others will think. So I've let it out. I've let the tiger loose. I told everyone that, look, there is a very interesting point about PowerPoints. And that point is that I didn't prepare a PowerPoint today. But I was not reluctant. When I saw everyone coming with a crisp PowerPoint, I would have given up. I said, no, I'm not going to give up, because here I'm going to talk about empowering my own self. So if I'm doing that, I might as well go and play the game rather than leaving the field and going away. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest learning which I got from today, at least me, who's giving a talk on empowerment, failed in one thing, but I've learned something out of that. And this will help me in my next talk. Over to you.
Very powerful, sir. And so also you mentioned in your talk about the dreams, like what I know is that let your dreams be your wings to fly. So what is your dream, and what exactly you want to achieve something in your life to consider yourself a successful motivational coach? Is your dream clear and you have decided, and what exactly would you like to share with us, sir?
Yeah, if I start sharing my dreams, everyone in love, but as I said, I don't care. And no one should care if people should. There are dreams, and in Urdu they say, hazaron khahishein aisi ki har khahish pe dam nikle. Every day there is a new dream. The more dreams you have, the bigger dreams you have, the bigger ambitions you have, the more you will ponder, the more you will work, the more you will struggle. So just to make myself struggle, I keep on building up new dreams. Even today, coming to a talk without preparing was something I said, let's go and do it. 5 o'clock, I thought of telling you and calling you up, Conan Bhai, I can't do it because I haven't prepared. I said, no way. I know I can talk and I'll be talking sense. And ladies and gentlemen, pardon me and tell me if I'm wrong. If I went wrong somewhere, write it on that clipboard, on that chat board, and let me know, because even I want to learn. Everyone wants to learn. And as I said, we all learn from our mistakes. So this is a beautiful learning session, coming without a script. But I had one thing very clear. When you asked about the topic, I said empowering oneself. So all this coming without a script, not preparing a PowerPoint and then apart from all that, in spite of all that, going ahead and doing it is empowering oneself. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm making my point absolutely clear that, look, what I said I did to empower oneself, you've got to fight the battle within and win it. And I think I've won it today. There'll be many mistakes which I'd love to know from you guys.
I don't think, sir, any mistakes, any message coming in the chat box. Most of our audience are praising. It was time well spent. Well done, Tanveer Sahab, and all the positive messages. So
they must be saying you must be hungry. Yes, I am. Hungry for knowledge, hungry for success, and hungry for happiness. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you all, always aim to be happy. Again, I'll just take another 5 minutes. We had this 25th year reunion of our MBA batchmates. So everyone got a chance to speak and they all went up the stage. They said, I want to become this. I want to go have this industry. I want to add another company to my global this thing. I went up on stage and I said, I just want to achieve one thing in life. I want to be happy. So if you're happy in whatever you have, it's not that whatever little you have, you should be complacent and sit down and no. Be happy in whatever you have and keep on striving instead of sitting and crying that, look, he has this car, he has that bungalow, he has that position, I don't have. No. Be happy in what you have and keep on striving from inside, keep on striving for material things will come and go. Even billionaires during the pandemic, during the lockdown, the billionaires also were sitting at home. They couldn't fly in their private jets. There were a couple of months, even billionaires and multi-billionaires couldn't, be it Warren Buffett or whoever. They were all sitting at home. But that was also, God Almighty gave us a chance to sit at home. Billionaires got to see their own houses. Oh my God, I've got a beautiful house. Had it not been for the lockdown, I wouldn't have seen it. So that's the thing. In everything, you can get happiness. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll sum it up by saying that all we've got to do is keep on striving, but to motivate the others, to empower the others, we should empower ourselves with happiness. Be happy, be satisfied, but never be complacent. Keep on struggling, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'll request our audience to ask questions. But before that, sir, just last question from my side on behalf of Empowerment Talks. What's your feeling? How do you feel? And what was your experience coming on Empowerment Talks, sharing your thoughts with our audience? What's your opinion on that, sir?
My opinion is I'm so happy talking to you all that if I'm not stopped by you, I'll go on and on throughout the night. So I'm sure that the people start writing, look, we have to go. So this is it. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and thank you for giving me this chance. And next time I'll try to make myself even better. And I'm waiting for the day when we can have these sessions, not virtual sessions, but sitting with each other or standing on the stage and then talking to a live audience. And that is what I'm waiting for. And inshallah, we'll get that.
Definitely. Thank you so much. We are looking forward for that. And our audience are giving all the positive remarks about you. Simply different experience. So thank you once again, Mr. Tanveer Beg, for your time, for all your insights, for your wisdoms. And may God bless you. And definitely we will be in touch. And I would like to thank our YouTube audience and whosoever watching this video on our social media. So keep on watching and keep on connecting on Empowerment Talks so that you keep on getting this kind of conversation, very empowering and very touching, which will move you to become more successful individual. So thank you all.
Krishna, Conan by one Mr. Krishna Iyer he's asking for some Urdu shairi.